Hello, Texans. I'm Susanna, and this is the Susanna Gibbs Show. I want to welcome you to our podcast. I'm going to see how many times I can say week in the upcoming seconds. This is our midweek recess from our work week. It's an off week of our podcast. That's pretty good, right? Usually we're interviewing guests, but every other guest, we are doing a series called Just Take 10. And a lot of it is about how stinking busy we are going through our lives and how sometimes it's hard to just take 10 minutes for ourselves. So thank you for taking 10 minutes with us today. This whole thing, I kind of had this idea, and then I had an accident on 635. I was in the right lane and I was hit from behind, and it pushed me from the far right to the far left shoulder in the blink of an eye. And just like that, I thought, this is not the way to live, Susanna. We should not be rushing through our lives. Not that I was speeding or rushing or anything, but just how can we take more time to be present? So, on this podcast today, we're going to talk about the places in DFW where you guys just take 10 minutes. And I didn't have room for all of them on the podcast because this, again, is just 10 minutes. And so if you want to see the whole list, you can go to gibbagencydallas.com, and we have everything up there. You can also go to our YouTube channel, and we have inserted some video clips of the places that people mentioned. So there's multiple ways to find and listen to us. So that being said, let's get going. So I have them in order of the top 10, and we're going to start with number 1 has the most mentions of my very informal Facebook poll, whatever. So the honorable mention, which I kind of love just because it's really different, is a car wash. Taking 10 minutes in a car wash. Now I tried this and I was pretty bummed because I got through the water in 2 minutes and the guy was like, no, you got to get a membership and you got to go through multiple times. But I did feel nice that my car was clean and washed at the end of it. So a lot of you really liked art. The Kimball Museum had a nod. The SMU Museum had a nod, even though they said it was really small. And I can see where it would be nice to just take 10 minutes and look at some art. The other one that somebody said, actually it comes up in another one, so I'm going to skip it for now. Coming in at number 9 were, and there was a lot of, I'm going to group them by category. Coffee shops got a good mention across the board. A great place to take 10 minutes. Jollibee Filipino Foods on Greenville, which looks amazing, and I can't wait to go. Kenny's Woodfire Grill in Addison also got a nod, and I would agree with those things. I don't drink martinis regularly, but I want to when I go to Kenny's. Coming in at number 8, bookstores. Half-price books. Got a couple mentions. Coming in at number 7, and I've lumped these kind of all together. Katy Trail. You guys love the Katy Trail. Katy Trail Ice House got tons of mention, but also hiking the Santa Fe Trail, Swiss Avenue, the Old Fish Hatchery Nature Trail, the Texas Buckeye Trail at Bonton Farms. All of those are great places to take 10 minutes. Number 6, you guys like to shop. Antique stores, North Park, Legacy West, East Dallas Vintage got a nod. Apparently they have really great iced coffee that you can have while you shop around there. Number 5, your own neighborhood. Specifically, Knox Street got a mention, but a couple people said, I just like to go for walks in my neighborhood if I have 10 minutes. Coming in at number 4, your own house. Now, I went back and forth with this person because I was like, man, I sometimes have a hard time relaxing at my house because I feel like there's so much to do. And her reply was how she had traveled so many different places, but creating that vacation spot, that vacation mentality in her own home. And I think that's something good to strive for, and was a great excuse for me to go shopping at home over the weekend to make my house vacation worthy. Number 3, and these are all lumped together in a category. Habitat Plants and Coffee in McKinney, Brumley's Garden, Nichols and Hardy Home and Garden, the Rose Garden in Farmers Branch, Arboretum, or just a picnic at a park. Now I'm going to pause for a second to talk about this because nature, I have studies about this. And this is according to the National Library of Medicine. Studies have shown, and we know this, right? But it's nice to have the science. Being in nature has a positive effect on our bodies by reducing cortisol levels, muscle tension, and demands on our cardiovascular system, lowers the heart rate and blood pressure. Being in nature often may lead to lower rates of heart disease. And the great outdoors can also help you increase your vitamin D levels, which is important for your bones, blood cells, and immune system. There were a couple people that said, if I have 10 minutes, I'll just walk through a plant store. I don't even have to buy anything. Coming in at number 2, and we're continuing in our nature theme, the Sculpture Garden at the Nasher. The fountains at Clyde Warren. Now, I mentioned these together because they're really close. And somebody else mentioned, and this is the one that I was referencing a little bit ago, they say, go to Clyde Warren, get an ice cream sandwich, then walk across the street to the Dallas Museum of Art and gaze upon the beautiful marble statue of Semiramis. I hope I'm saying that right. It's free and she's stunning. I mean, the challenge of a lot of this, and a lot of people wrote back, they said, you can't get anywhere in Dallas in 10 minutes, right? So you almost have to be near these places where I have 10 minutes before I have to go somewhere, or I have 10 minutes before I have to leave somewhere, and oh, look, here I am. By far, the number 1 response was White Rock Lake. And I asked a lot of people where you like to go at White Rock Lake. And I got different responses from, there's a bench just past the rocket ship park. And even going back to the Arboretum, because I really love the women's garden in the Arboretum, which again has a body of water. There's a theme. Do you see it? They said, I just like to go to the part where you get to look out over the open expanse of the lake, of White Rock Lake. Which is kind of why I like the honorable mention of the car wash. It's water. Human beings are drawn to water. This very instinctual, innate attraction. Now, another mention was Lake Jordan. Apparently there's a little lake with a gazebo. It's Preston Hollow, south of Northwest Highway, north of Deloach, east of Douglas, west of Preston, which I haven't been to, and I really want to check out. So thank you all for participating in this unofficial poll. You know what didn't show up a ton? Were churches. And I don't know why that is. We did get Thanksgiving Square and Kalachandi's in East Dallas. And maybe it's just because I have a bunch of heathen friends, which I love you all. But I wonder if it's because you don't go to a church for just 10 minutes. You go for a longer period of time. I did get some responses where they said, anywhere where I can just lay down and be peaceful and have a moment with God. So it is somewhat limiting, the 10 minutes. But even 10 minutes a day. If we're not giving ourselves any, at least we can give ourselves 10. So thank you so much for being with us today and just taking 10 minutes. We appreciate having you. We appreciate the feedback that we got from our poll. We hope you will join us again. Please go to giveagencydallas.com to connect with us, or on our socials. We're all over the place. We're trying real hard to connect with everybody in the way that they like to connect. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you again next week.